This is DETV's Good Morning Wilmington with Nadj and Jea. Hi, Jay.
What's going on?
Christmas was nice.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing this week? We've got the end of 2020. Oh, God.
So, I mean...
This is wonderful. We've been waiting for this moment.
Right. How do you feel about what's coming up with the next year? Do you have any sense of, like, where you want to go? Because there's still so much that's up in the air, right? We don't really know a whole lot still, even with COVID.
Right.
So, I mean, as it stands for me right now, my wedding schedule with the wedding band, with CTO.
Right. Oh, yeah. Are you booked up now?
It's very booked, but it's like, I don't know if it's going to stay in place.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Well, I can say that I'm looking forward to putting out new music.
Mm-hmm.
Because I haven't put out anything since the top of this year.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to hugs.
Yeah, I can appreciate that.
I really am. And being able to be around more people.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this year helped me reflect. Let me tell you. I was like, girl, you need more friends. So I've actually connected with a lot more people. So I'm looking forward to continuing that at this coming year. Making more money. I haven't suffered too much with gigs.
Right.
Like I haven't been able to do like the full band thing, but the virtual stuff is, coming
It's surprisingly, I think that's a really interesting point because I'm kind of on the fence. I'm not on the fence about it. I just see the two sides of it because on one hand, I'm a kind of an old school stickler about the idea that music is supposed to be an in-person exchange of energy, right?
Right.
But at the same time, I totally appreciate the fact that you or anyone can just turn on their computer, set up a little camera, perform for an hour, maybe only a half hour, and make the same money that some people make for over 3 hours at a local bar.
Right.
That's that place for musicians where it's like this is a little bit like you feel like you're being taken advantage of. You know what I mean? This is how we kind of put ourselves and create a negative market for ourselves.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden it's like, oh, I don't have to sit in this smoky bar where no one listens to me
for $50 and $12 towards the bar.
Yeah, and somebody's taking a cut out of this, that, and the other. Absolutely. You can just set up your shop and literally make. So
yes.
It's been an interesting change in that way.
Very interesting. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to what we do with this show.
Yeah.
This has been a very crazy.
One of the most unexpected parts of the year for me, and I
but
mean
it's
that.
The best.
I have thoroughly enjoyed all of this. You know what I mean? So I'll say I'm going to be my formal, sappy Jay and say I really appreciate you, involving me with this show. I'm super appreciative of the fact that you came to me and were like, yo, let's do something. And you went in 100%. And you, young lady, showed the epitome, the epitome.
I was like, wait,
right. The epitome of vision. You just went in and it's like, yo, we're going to do this thing. And we did. So shout out to you for that. 1,000%. I'm trying to pound you. There we go.
Thank you so much. I just want to accept this award of compliments from Jay on behalf of my mama and my daddy who gave me this life. That was really nice. Thank you.
But I do mean it.
No, I know Jay was like, what? You want me to what?
I like adventures. I like adventures. You know what I'm saying? Let's just see what happens.
And that it has been. Oh my God. So I'm looking forward to what Good Morning Wilmington will do next year for sure. I'm looking forward to what DETV will do.
I'm looking to building.
Yeah.
It's an unexpected thing. But I'm glad that we're building this. It's going to be fun to watch the next year go in that regard. Who knows what's coming, but I know that that's one thing that I'll certainly have a focus on is making this, bigger and better and connecting it to more people. Because I love the fact, I know I've said this kind of off the air, but the cool thing about the internet and this show specifically, the interwebs is we've literally had people from Chicago, from Nashville, tune in.
California.
And so there's so much potential for this, and I'm excited for that.
Listen, y'all, I know we gonna get an Emmy. And if not, we gonna make our own. Simply put.
And I have no problems with that either. You know what I mean? It's all kind of been about building stuff from nothing, and I love that anyway. You know what I mean?
So what has been two things. What has been the biggest, like, accomplishment this year, and what has been the biggest setback?
The setback, honestly, has just pretty blatantly been financial for me. You know what I mean? At the beginning of the year, I had a pretty nice schedule set up, and I had a lot of plans for building certain things. But, you know, once all of my weddings were taken out of my schedule, that was definitely a moment of panic. Like, how am I going to make ends meet? And you squirm and get some help and figure it out. Yeah. But that was like, man, this is, you know, it's just the rug was pulled out from under me. Like, oh boy, like, you know, you look up and like, I don't know where my main source of income is going to come from, but you know, you adapt. And I think the biggest, there's so many, like, it's been such a strange year because there's obviously been so many negative things that have happened, but there have been like a lot of really good things that have happened to me this year. And honestly, as I'm kind of trying to answer your question, for me, in the weirdest way, but it's like you wouldn't expect me to say it, but I'm really happy with the fact that I've grown as a musician, mainly in terms of my ability to improvise, because I mean, that's just been a missing piece from my bag. And I was like, you know what? Finally, I have some time. Like, we've been gifted time with this whole crazy year.
Yes.
And, you know, I fortunately haven't wasted it. Yeah. And I have suddenly I can improvise on my instrument, and it's nowhere near where I want to be, but like, it's like I didn't even think I had the capacity for it. I can do it up here when I'm singing, but like I was like, oh my gosh, it's happening. It's like the plane takes off, and like, oh my gosh, I'm doing it. So I'm like, okay, if I can do this, you know, over 3-4 months, I wonder what's going to be next year. Right. So I think those two things for me.
Okay.
What about you?
My biggest setback was being afraid of everything.
Sure.
Like, I'm not that person that walks around like, oh, gotta, you know, watch your back and hold the keys in between your fingers in case somebody run up on you. And I'm not overly scared about being sick and stuff. But when everything started, and the funny part is, I actually remember the day I found out about coronavirus. I was at work, and I always listened to, I used to post payments, right? So when I was doing it, I would just log on to like NPR or something, and I would listen to the news. And I remember it was like the beginning, it was like the very tip top of January.
Yeah.
And they talked about a deadly virus that was spreading in China. And I remember, like, for some reason, of all the things that they talked about that day, I remember feeling weird about that. And then I remember following it, and the WHO was going to be meeting, was the World Health Organization. Then there, like a week later, they were supposed to have a meeting about it. And I remember texting my mom, like, little by little. I was like,
is this something?
Yeah, I was like, I wonder if this will come to the States. And I've been following it since that first beginning of January when I first heard.
No, I paid no attention for a long time.
So I started getting really paranoid.
That early?
Yeah, that early, and it continued because of my son.
Yes.
So I became like super scared. So I actually did not leave the house until about May.
Yeah.
Ishmael actually was going to the market. He was getting everything. Okay, all the feminine products.
That was,
my
that was me.
husband was getting. Yeah. I did not want to leave the house. I was. I didn't see my parents for weeks.
Dude, there's nothing like walking in the house and feeling like you don't know if you picked something up that's going to like wipe out the whole family.
Everything, leave it at the door. I was terrified.
Yeah.
So that plays with your mind. Yeah. So my anxiety shot up.
Yeah.
But my biggest accomplishment this year was relationships. Building relationships with people.
What an odd year to build relationships.
I know. Right? It's crazy. Like, I've talked to so many friends that I haven't talked to in years, and I've called, like, I call my all my great aunts and my grandparents, and like I do that normally, but I made sure to call them even more. My great aunt called me last night actually to say she watched the show. And she's really proud. So it's just really nice to just have these conversations and check in with everyone and check in with cousins and, you know.
Honestly, from my end, I'm thinking, and listen, you might, other musicians might want to join in, but like, I'm very much thinking, like, I want for my new music to just make you move, you know what I mean? Just like fun. I know that I'm like Mr. Political, like my music, but like you're gonna see a different side.
Jay said he about to drop that track, that boom, ooh, 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 ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Isn't that the move? Isn't that the move? Like if that's not.
What is it? The bounce? Is it the? Are you?
Yeah.
Is he bouncing right now?
That's not it. What about the shake? The Harlem Shake? Oh, my bad. I'm out of it, aren't I? Oh my goodness. Foxtrot?
Wow. So
Foxtrot?
I just want to say, with all the things that have gone on this year, I want to pay respects to the lives that were lost, not just from COVID, but you know, people who just passed away this year. You know, sending our condolences out to the families of lost loved ones because of COVID, and to the ones who just happened to pass this year. So one of the ones right off the top of my head that affected me very deeply was the passing of Chadwick Boseman. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I posted something. It took me about a week to do it. I cried literally every single day. And no, I don't know that man from Adam. But what I did know about him was that he was an impeccable artist, and his work ethic and his dedication to what he does and providing this legacy for us for the coming years and the coming generation just really set the tone for my career, and I've changed the way I do things because of it.
So did you see the Ma Rainey's Black Bottom
I'm not ready yet. I still cannot scroll on his page. I still cannot watch. I can't even watch Black Panther, and that's actually one of my favorite movies. I can't do it. I'm just not emotionally ready.
I understand that. So I saw it, and what really moved me about the movie outside of the film itself, like when I was paying attention to it, like you can see, number one, that he is sick. Like once you know, you might not have known that if he hadn't passed, but when you see me, like, oh my gosh, this man is.
Oh, I don't want to talk about this no more.
This man is sick, and he is acting his tail off. And you think about how many times as artists that we have been like, oh, I'm tired, I don't want to get on the stage, I have a cold, I have an achy body, I didn't sleep well last night. It's like, if he's doing all of that, the energy that he put out in the scenes that he has in that movie, and you think about how ill he was, it's like, it's for me, I was shamed about any time that I ever complained about having to work on music, and it's also inspiring because it's like, if it's just to work under those conditions and to put out high quality work, the highest of quality work, when you feel like that, it's like, okay, man up. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just no excuses. And I mean, we've lost so many people this year too, like some heavy weights, you know? Kobe at the beginning of the year, right? I mean, I got my little list here, and just musically, Van Halen, right?
Yeah.
Like a guitar god, you know what I'm saying? Like right up there with Jimi Hendrix. It's like how you want to weigh him, but Bill Withers, you know? John Lewis.
Ruth.
Little Richard. These are, like, those two, if I think back about it, like, I'm a keyboard player, I'm a piano player, and he's the first he's rock and roll music, you know?
Yeah.
We don't really think about the fact that Little Richard, is rock and roll at the very beginning. When you had rock and roll piano players, you don't even think about that. But rock and roll is a global term, and it is America. And when you think of America, the first thing you might think is rock and roll or blue jeans, you know what I'm saying? Little Richard is rock and roll. He started that stuff. You know what I mean? John Lewis.
We gotta pick it up because I can't do all this sadness.
That's fine.
We honor all of you. We do. We honor all of these wonderful lives and what they contributed to ours. But we got to change the subject because Nadj don't want to cry. Because my mama said don't be crying on TV no more.
Okay,
so,
fine. We have a new POTUS. That was a big deal this year.
Oh, yeah. Uncle Joe, we coming for you.
Yeah.
You going to come here. That didn't sound right.
No, but either way, we know that we are going to interview our new President-elect still.
Nadj Nicole.
We're calling it.
Will interview Uncle Joe.
Yes, it's going to happen for sure. Yeah, we're just going to make it happen. Do you remember the Delaware?
Oh, the Delaware.
The Delaware. How do you think he's doing now? Do you think he's still in Delaware? Just like, I got
Yes,
y'all?
he was here like a month ago.
Oh, really?
There was a sighting. There was a sighting. Yeah.
I kind of wonder, like, what is he thinking, or she? It could be a she, right? We don't know. What is Delaware thinking? Like, is it kind of funny? Did the Delaware know?
Well, where was she at? Was she over by Trolley?
It's everywhere,
We're going to call her a she, and she probably was looking for a drink.
Okay.
She probably was needing
get a beer and like some pizza from pizzeria.
But right now, she should be sleeping.
Right, because it is hibernation time. So Delaware, we had tornadoes this year.
Yeah. Oh, shout out to Richard Raw, who helped me during a panic attack when I was in Home Depot. It's one of them. Oh God, that was terrifying. What else happened?
We did Rona-Palooza. That was cool.
We
kind of
did.
shouting out, but like that was a big deal for me.
Y'all should go watch those.
Yeah,
that was really fun. Jay had the nerve to say that was the first time he saw my personality because he thought that I was basically like this piece of like nothing.
But you readily admit that for quite some time you you consciously didn't sort of put yourself as Nadj out there. Like, I don't think a lot of people have really seen the real you up until this show.
Y'all let me know what y'all think of me now versus what you thought of me prior to this show.
Do you think that this show has allowed you to be yourself more all the time, or just...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great.
I think I'm fully stepping into my excellence.
Oh my gosh, great.
In Beyonce's words, step out your estimate.
We had protests this year.
Ooh.
Think about it.
Ooh.
Do you know how much happened this year?
Bruh.
The president got impeached.
They
didn't put him out of office, but he got impeached. He was impeached. It's just a fact.
Listen, I'm still stuck on the protests because I remember how Market Street, how all of a sudden the Black Lives Matter movement was on every building.
I remember one thing. A million things I remember, but I remember when you made a couple of posts about the protests that were very sincere and very poignant, and it was. I think that was one of the places where I was like, oh, you got some bite to you. Like, you got something to say. You had like some ideas, things you can do to fight the system, and I was like, okay, like, yeah, that was cool.
I have a brain.
I know you have a wonderful brain, absolutely. Do you remember when the rioting started in Wilmington? What were you thinking? What were you doing? Where were you?
I was home and I was going. Now, okay, let's say this. There was a difference between rioting and protesting. When the protesting began, I was home because I was terrified of getting coronavirus and bringing it home to my son. So I did want to join, but because of that fear, I was home. So I put out a video in support of the protest because I feel like we have to get our voices heard. As far as the rioting is concerned, I'm gonna be careful when I say this.
Because this is the place to be careful.
I think that, am I allowed to cuss?
No, just keep going. Keep talking.
No, I was going to quote what I said online. It wasn't bad, but basically, for the people who don't feel heard, if tearing stuff up is your only option, then tear it up. Yeah. But I would not personally do that. I would do everything in my power to do what is right to have my voice heard. But I understand why things happened the way that they happened. So you have to make sure that you're looking at the the bigger picture as to why these people are so angry. That's what's important in this.
Yeah, I remember when that first protest was organized for the city. And my dad, he was here.
Papa J.
He was out there during the '68 riots and when we were occupied by the National Guard. So he remembers that vividly. And he, as soon as he knew that someone was coming, he was like, "Yo, don't go." You know what I mean? And I listened to that. And
my parents were like, where are you at right now?
Right. And I actually reached out to a couple of sort of my politician friends.
Many friends.
And I said, hey guys, you need to be careful out there because these kids might get crazy. No, but I really did say, like, I was like, y'all be careful. Yeah. And I was like, on one hand, I kind of felt like, especially with my music, I was like, I should be out there on the front lines. But I was like,
that's the thing. Listen, that's the other thing. You said something very important. Stop it. Stop making people think that because they're not physically there, that they aren't in support of what's going on or they're against what's going on. Everyone has their own lane. Allow them to utilize the lane that they're in to the best of their ability. Stop judging people on what they can or cannot do.
To that point, one of the most impactful thoughts that entered my brain throughout that season of protest was when I talked to Kima. And
I love myself.
Yes. I had her on my podcast, and she was saying, you know, one of the main chants was no justice, no peace. And she was like, I get it, but it should be justice, peace. Because when you're shouting no justice, it's like there is no justice, and you're putting that out there. When you shout, I want justice, I want peace, it's like your words, the first thing that sort of hit everyone's consciousness is more of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And words have power.
Words have power, and then the idea that, you know, this the whole thing of self-care. It's been so much that in itself is revolutionary.
Yes. And you have people who are like questioning, is this a trend? You know, is this gonna stick around? Like, oh my God, everybody's using crystals now, and everyone wants to know their zodiac sign. Listen, hush.
You got your CMOS, son?
I know. Like, did you get your CMOS that you're gonna have
say it like this,
every day?
You got your CMOS, son?
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
Ew.
Got my glass of CMOS. I just drink it. You know what I'm saying? Get my third eye right, B. Nah. All right. I'll get off of that.
Anyway, wow. I'm proud of the people who have taken a step back and really looked at their lives and focused on themselves. I am one of those people. People is me. I have really focused on me and my happiness and what works in my life. And I have to say this, me and my husband have been together, 5-6 years, and this is our best year yet. Because we've literally been stuck together and we had no distractions and we focused on each other.
I feel like
and supporting each other. So love you, husband.
Yeah, I feel like if your relationship made it through this year,
you can make it through anything.
That person is absolutely the one. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's it. If y'all made it through this, you're good.
Listen, okay? Because every day we was together. Every day.
100%. So we're going to switch it now.
Yeah.
We're going to have on Dr. Teresa Smith, MD, and also she's my Spelman sister.
Oh.
She's she's going to talk to us about the COVID vaccine. She's going to just drop a huge amount of knowledge on us about the vaccine, kind of what she's seen. Okay. And before you see her,
and we also have Crysta Harris, the founder of Black Brown Delaware Therapist Directory. She's going to talk to us about how she started that. Yeah.
But otherwise, get ready for the good news with Desi.
Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Desi, and now it's time for the good news. Remember to follow us on DETVCH.com because you might just hear your quote. Now, this quote today is coming from Bell Lyric 11 on Instagram, but the original quote comes from Mark Twain, and it says, "If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything." Once again, if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. So have you ever told a lie? Even the little white ones? Here's the thing. Once you tell one, you have to tell another and another. And after a while, it just gets too hard to keep up. So do me a favor. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. And that's your good news with your girl, Desi. Don't forget, follow us on DETVCH.com.
Thank you for the good news, Desi. And now I'm super excited for this segment. We're going to talk to Dr. Teresa Smith. She is in Brooklyn, New York. That's where she practices right now. And she's going to talk to everyone, to all of us, about the COVID vaccine in particular. So, you know, I should start by saying that the reason that the way that I came to know of you was because of a post that my friend Ashley with DIA with Pieces of a Dream, she's your line sister from Spelman. I guess you guys are both Deltas, but you made a post on your Facebook page kind of explaining, you know, how it was for you when you took the vaccine, and you gave a really just kind of down-to-earth explanation of how the vaccine works. And I was like, this is what our people need to hear. So thank you for being here and sharing, you know, your time with us all the way from New York. Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it's really important for people to understand what the vaccine is, how it works. No one really wants to take something into their body without knowing, you know, how it works. And I wanted to make it relatable. I know Dr. Fauci is brilliant, but sometimes people don't quite understand, especially our people who, you know, may be a bit more resistant in the Black and Brown community. So, you know, my Facebook post was intentional. It was a bit candid, but I wanted to share my personal experience and then make it relatable for the community to understand.
But I would love for you to ask questions first, because I know that you have concerns about it, you know?
Yes.
Why don't you just kind of put it out there?
So, I always make a joke about zombies. So I am one of those people who is like, no, I'm not. Just based off of history and what I've experienced in my life, what I've heard. And then because this has happened so fast, and my mother's in pharmaceuticals, so she's, you know, for the most part of my young life, I remember hearing about the different medicines and things that are in testing, and, you know, what's going on and where the processes are. So as soon as they said they had something coming up, I was like, please, you must be out your mind, you know? So for the people like myself who are gearing on the side of no because of what history has shown us, what would you say?
I completely understand. Listen, I get it. That's the first thing I would say. And I don't want to pressure people. You know, even when I'm seeing patients in the emergency department, I pressure no one to get a test or to get medication. But I want people to walk away with the understanding, so that if you make a decision to not get vaccinated, at least you did it completely informed and understand, you know, your options. So for those who say it was rushed, yes, that's the honest answer. It, you know, took about 2 months to do the first Pfizer trial, that was the first vaccination that came out. Yes, usually these trials, these large study trials, take about a year or so, but they're usually one large study trial at a time. Now we have about 5 simultaneous large study trials going on at the same time. That increases the amount of people that have actually been in these studies, right? So you're not just talking about one large study, you're talking about 5 large studies at the same time. That would almost equate to doing one large study for an entire year. So I think that's one thing. The other thing is people need to know what mRNA is. You know, this has been science that's been going on for 20 years now. mRNA is a genetic code that allows your body to produce a protein. And in this specific vaccination, that protein is the spike of COVID. And I'm sure we've all seen the pictures of COVID with the spikes. So basically, your body ends up being tricked into producing the spike of COVID. But the immune system is like, I don't know you. Who are you? You know, you have never been to the block of my body before. And we need to kick your butt. And so basically it creates an immune reaction, which is the antibodies, and it kills anything that has that spike, including COVID, right? That mRNA doesn't last forever in your body. It actually gets broken down, and so that it eventually just fades away, but the immune response stays forever. So that the next time your body sees COVID, really the spikes of COVID, it's gonna whoop its tail each and every time. And so you want those antibodies. And the only other way to get those antibodies would be to expose to COVID. You will produce the antibodies for those individuals that get COVID. Some people, not all people, but some people produce the antibodies, but we don't know if the immune reaction is strong enough so that you actually get immunity to COVID, which is why taking the vaccination, creating this large scale immune response will protect you. It's not going to stop you from getting COVID, because eventually your body's going to see COVID again. That's not the point. It's not curing COVID. It's not making it go away. COVID is here. It will be here on Earth longer than all of us, all of our generations, all of our kids, all of our grandkids. Influenza has been around for centuries, right? There are more viruses that have been around for centuries, probably from the start of this Earth. But what it's doing is protecting you so that your immune system will be able to respond to it. So I want people to be informed. And if with that information, and you really should try to go out there and read as much as possible on it, you make your own decision. If you still don't think that you want to get the vaccine because you're either skeptical or you just don't believe in taking medications for whatever your reasons are, then I completely understand, but inform yourself.
So because I'm somewhat of a dork, I have a million questions that are running through my head, but I'm trying to make sure that we focus on, the concerns of just the kind of average person who is concerned about the vaccine. So I guess one question, how has your experience been? Because you've taken the first round of it. There are 2 rounds of it, correct? So how is your first round of the Pfizer vaccine, I think you took, what has been your experience with that?
And why is there 2 rounds?
So you want that first initial immune response. Again, it's not enough. I think you get about 50%, don't quote me on that, but about 50% of an immune response, that first dose, which is why you get a second dose, which brings you up to that 95% efficacy that everyone talks about. Again, it's about building up a strong immune response, enough so that in the springtime, when I go and see COVID again, because I'm likely to see COVID again, and I may get infected, but my immune system is going to respond with all the antibodies that have built up. I think that my experience was this. It was, first of all, I have autoimmune illnesses. I have lupus, polymyositis, and dermatomyositis. So before I went to go take the vaccine, I consulted my doctor, my rheumatologist. And I said, what are your thoughts on this? And, the reality is my immune system is like that friend that does too much, and you bring that friend to the fight and they always just do too much. They fight you, the person they want to fight and you. So that's how my immune system is. It's on a daily, it attacks me. So I knew that I was going to flare, because when I rev up my immune system, I know that it's going to do too much, right? And so I anticipated that I was going to flare. And in actuality, basically what happened is I got the symptoms that a lot of the people in the study got. Within 5 hours, I felt like a whoosh of, body ache. And I was like, I think I'm coming down with something. You feel like you're about to come down with the flu, but it didn't get and escalate that bad, right? And so it was like this whoosh of, oh, I need to go lay down and go to sleep now. I took Tylenol before the vaccination, and I took it every 6 hours after. So it was a little bit of body ache. I did not get a fever. I felt a bit tired, and I went to bed early that day. I woke up the next day, fine. No body ache, nothing. The only thing that I had was feeling tired and slow. So I just was not, it took me like 30 minutes to get my coffee running. And I'm like, this is just, you just move a bit slow. When I talked to some of my other colleagues, they got maybe some joint pains, but for the most part, everybody felt nothing. Most of my colleagues that took it with me that day felt not one thing. By day 3, I was 100% fine. No flare, no nothing. I worked a shift in the ED. By day 4, I rode my Peloton. I had my regular life, felt nothing. And so I felt absolutely nothing since then.
I think another concern that a lot of people have is, I think we have a little bit of a understanding of how it came to, market so quickly, but there can't be any long-term studies at this point because it hasn't been around for that long. So I think even myself, I have questions, but the concern is that, like, what about a year from now? Like, is there just something that could happen to my body in the long term that we don't know about, that we haven't studied because we don't have the time, that I should be worried about? Like, in a year from now, am I going to get some weird response, disease? I don't know. Do you understand my question?
I completely understand your question. And, can I say with 100% certainty that that wouldn't happen? No, because the studies haven't gone on. But for vaccination research is not new. This has been going on. The reason why we don't see polio is because of vaccines. I know. So, this is not all of a sudden we just came up with vaccinations. Like, this stuff is safe. It's been safe for a long, long, long time. It's the reason why we have eradicated so many other illnesses that used to exist within our population. And then I also say, you need to do a risk-benefit assessment, right? So you just told me that COVID gives all of this lingering effects, and sequelae is what we call them. Yes, so you don't want to get COVID, right? I mean, for me, it was extremely simple. Either I get COVID, and because I have autoimmune illnesses, my risk of dying and getting severe case of COVID is very high. So either I get COVID and die, or I get a vaccine and not feel well for a few days, right? So, there's nothing that in this vaccine that is worse than COVID.
They say we got room for one more question. I honestly could talk your ear off about your experience.
We both could.
Your experience as a black female doctor in America. That's a whole conversation. But last question that I have right now is, just as much as you can you explain the difference between an mRNA vaccine and, I guess, the traditional vaccine? Like, what is the difference, please?
So, again, I'm just an ED doctor. I'm not an infectious disease doctor. I'm not a public health specialist. But from my simple understanding of it, so as I said before, the mRNA is a genetic code that is placed into your body, and then it allows you to produce a protein, right? And that protein is the spike of COVID, right? Regular vaccine, you get exposed a little bit, for especially the live vaccine, you get exposed to the actual virus. Right. And so what they would do is, in very small controlled doses, expose your body to the virus so that you have that same immune reaction. But you may feel a little bit of the symptoms of the virus, right? Probably much more than you would with the mRNA vaccine. Mm-hmm. The mRNA vaccine is not a live vaccine, which is, I would hope make people feel a little bit more secure in that you're not getting COVID. You're actually getting a genetic, code that allows you to not even produce the entire COVID, but just the spike of the protein, versus getting a live vaccine and being injected with the actual virus itself.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Is there any sort of pertinent information that you want to make sure that you get out there as much as possible? Like the same way that you made your Facebook post, like what is the, sort of fundamental message that you want to get out there for people in our community to hear and understand?
So if we look at the numbers of the mortality, which means the deaths of people who died from COVID, it is overwhelming that people that were in the Black and brown communities, people who were in underserved areas, those are the individuals that died. My fear is that this is the same group of individuals who will be resistant to getting the vaccine. This is why I, made the Facebook post, because, if there was one thing that the pandemic did, it showed racism in our country. It showed healthcare disparities that already exist. And it really behooves us, just like we did a wonderful job of getting out there and voting for this election, we need to do the same job to educate our people about the vaccine. Again, I'm not trying to pressure people into taking the vaccine. If you don't want to get it, that's fine, but educate yourself, because it is the same high-risk group of people who are dying from COVID. So I want those same group of people to be educated, and hopefully they'll make the right decision to take the vaccine.
Yeah, I got to say this because this is the time to do it. But what you're saying right now is exactly what I was thinking. And I'm going back to a Facebook post that I saw from someone else, when this is a person who's reasonably intelligent, who says smart things. And bottom line is, they were saying, don't take the vaccine because they're going to put something in it that is going to harm black people, and this is the Tuskegee experiment all over again, blah, blah, blah. Not even understanding that what happened in... Wait. But not even understanding that with the Tuskegee experiment, it's what they weren't given. They weren't given treatment. People miss that fact. But, like, that's my concern, is that, you know, people are going to... The people who think that they're doing good by saying don't take it, it's going to actually make the problem worse, because we've already been hit by it harder, and ultimately if people don't start listening to people like you, we're going to be in a situation where the underserved are getting even more underserved due to just ignorance. So
absolutely. That's why people need to inform themselves. And you're absolutely right. The Tuskegee experiment was the fact that they didn't treat syphilis. Not that they gave them syphilis. They knew it was there and they did not treat it. But I agree with those individuals that say that there is racism in medicine. Absolutely. I've actually written an article with a collective group that came out just this week about the racism that exists within medicine. But the biggest part of the racism that exists, which is similar to what happened in Tuskegee, is when we don't treat our people, right? And this will increase the healthcare disparity gap. We have a treatment that we need to make sure gets to our people, a treatment that has been proven from this study to be safe. Vaccinations have for centuries been proven to be safe. We need to make sure it gets to our people. The exact opposite of what you're saying is what we need to make sure it does not happen, that people are misinformed and don't get a treatment that could protect them.
Well, thank you, doctor.
This is intense.
I love it.
Yes, we are so appreciative of you coming on here and giving us the truth and helping to ease our minds and the viewers' minds. And we wish you luck, and please stay safe out there in those ER streets, because we know it's rough. And again, thank you.
Thank you for serving us. Plain and simple.
Yes.
I know you've seen some crazy stuff this year, so thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to educate people and to come onto this platform. Thank you, and you all stay safe as well.
All right, guys, we're going to our next interview with Crysta Harris.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here with Crysta Harris of Black, Brown, and Delaware Therapists. So, thank you for your time, and let's just kind of get right into things. Can you just what is the website about? Tell us about that.
So the name of the directory is the Black, Brown, Delaware Therapist Directory, aka BBDT directory. And it is a platform that is geared to connect Black and Brown providers who are culturally competent, culturally sensitive, licensed professionals, and connecting those providers to individuals that are in the community, that are in the state of Delaware, that are looking for a provider that looks like them. So the directory does contain licensed mental health therapists, social workers. It will contain psychiatrists, psychologists, and nurse practitioners that are Black and Brown.
That's really awesome.
That's awesome.
Are you responsible for putting everything together? Did you organize it, or?
I did. I had the idea a year and a half ago, and
only a year and a half ago.
Yes, and so that's why you should never let fear or things kind of take you off your path. But I also do believe timing is everything. So I had that idea about a year and a half ago, and life happened. I'm a new mom of almost a 2-year-old, so things happened. And recently, so earlier this year, with things happening such as COVID, with things happening in the Black and Brown community, such as the racial tension and Breonna Taylor and George Floyd and so many other names that I can name, I said, Crysta, this is the time. We need need a resource. We need to be able to connect to providers that look like us so that we can, you know, explore the emotional issues and the mental health challenges that we are having because of all these forces around us. And so I started working on the idea this past summer and launched it November 16th.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. That's amazing. That's so amazing.
So it's only been here for like up and running for about a month now. Is that correct?
Only a month, and within the 30 days, because today's the 17th, so it's been a month and a day. So within these 31 days, the directory has made a huge impact in the state of Delaware already. It has all the providers that are currently listed on the directory, all of them have had referrals, several referrals at that. The directory has made a great impact with different organizations. We are now listed on the NAMI Delaware's website. And we are definitely going to continue to keep going and building connections with other agencies in the state of Delaware so that this directory is pushed throughout the entire state.
Do you, I'm assuming that it's still more difficult to get men to, you know, kind of admit that they have a problem and who are willing to actually reach and seek professional help. Do you see that that situation? Well, is it a situation and is it improving?
It is a situation that and I don't have my numbers or what have you, but to have Black and brown men seek therapeutic services, yes, the numbers are higher than Black and brown women seeking therapeutic services. We do know, and research has proven that men sometimes are not the most communicative people or what have you, and being in touch with their emotional side. So we do know that. Do I think more Black and brown men are seeking therapy maybe more than even a year ago? Absolutely. I think it's getting better, but there are still challenges. Even on the directory, I have a private practice that is located on the directory. And there are men in that practice because I want to make sure that even men that need the assistance, that they are able to get onto that directory and find a male provider. Because some men like to see male providers, and honestly, some males, there are a lot of males too that like to see women providers as well. Yep. And even launching the directory a month ago, I have had several men reach out to me seeking therapeutic services.
Wow.
So it's definitely getting better.
Yeah. Good. Definitely. That makes me happy because I feel like COVID has given, it's the year that we didn't want, but the year that we needed, because I think even though it is a trending topic and, you know, we could fight all day on if it's a good trend or a bad trend.
It's a good trend.
I mean, yes, I think so. But I think that COVID has given people that time to really reflect and reevaluate and admit, you know, that they do need help in certain areas and they do need self-love and self-care and to focus on those things. And when you have for, you know, African Americans, Black and brown people, I think this year, if anything, taught us that we have to take a step back. You know, I was thinking about my parents and my dad. He said to me last year, "Kid, I haven't taken a vacation in years."
My dad's never taken a vacation.
Yeah, and there are moments when I know he's tired, that I know he needs a moment. So this year has given us that time to reflect and really think about what is needed, and to then have this wonderful gift that you've given to just be the cherry on top.
What are some of the common issues that you're most, you know, often dealing with when people come to you?
It's very broad, right? So there are, especially because of COVID-19. COVID-19 has exacerbated a lot of symptoms, right? And so I want to take a step back that one of the challenges I think that has been something that has been in the Black and brown community, right, is that we feel like we can continue to keep going and going and going and going. So kind of to your point, right, COVID-19 really sat you down, and it really like made you stop, think, and reflect. Some of those people that do that, because they're used to going, they're not used to being in tune with their own thoughts and emotions, right? So when you have to stop, you're like, wait, I'm uneasy. Wait, what's going on? And it's because you're not filling that space with just all this extracurricular activity, right? Like you can think of it, I'm a visual. So think of it as a kid who is this toy that you sit on and you spin yourself around, right? And you're having fun while you're spinning yourself around. But when you stop, what happens? You're dizzy. So think of it that way, right? So because people have to stop, reflect, and you have no choice, especially with these curfews and things that's going on, right? Anxiety is definitely going through the roof, right? Depression is going through the roof, especially because we are social creatures and we like to be around people. Even if we're not around people, we like to talk to people. We like to, be in people's spaces. So you don't have that. So that can trigger the depression, right? You have postpartum, especially for the people that have family members who have died. So that could be traumatic for them. People that you couldn't see in the hospitals or may have been sick, right? And even if they didn't pass, now you're worried and scared that, wait a minute, am I going to catch COVID-19? So those are the major things that I have seen since working with my clients this year in particular.
When, when someone has a pain here or something, people are, it's a little bit easier to know when you need to go to the medical doctor, like because you have a cold. When should someone start saying to themselves, hey, I should probably seek professional counseling? Like, how do you sort of come to that realization? And how do you know that you need that? Because a lot of people don't even know what that feels like. You know what I mean?
So that is an amazing question, right? So this is what I tell people. The first thing is people treat physical health and mental health like two separate entities, but it's really one, right? So that's the first thing, that we can't continue to separate them, because if your mental health is not aligned, or if it's not healthy, that throws your whole body off, right? So that affects your sleeping, your eating, your mood, your irritability level. It affects all of that. So that's number one. We need to keep it all in line, right? But when you notice, well, let me back up, because this is the other thing I say, right? Because it doesn't necessarily have to be a situation for you to go to therapy either. So I think that's number two that I think causes people to kind of delay the process, right? I look at it as like this. If you go to therapy when there isn't an issue, right, you're easily able to understand your patterns, easily able to implement the coping skills that are taught to you, right? What I like to say is, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Oh, yeah. So if you have those skills and you have that teaching and you're able to maneuver what's a healthy thought, what's a negative thought, it's easier for you when a situation does occur, because like we are human, things do happen, right? So it's easier for you to then implement it. Versus when there's this big storm and now you're like panicking, like, wait, I need to see somebody. I have to get this all straightened out. It causes imbalance when you do that. So that's number two. The other thing, when you say, well, how do you know when you do need to seek a therapist, right? If you do wait for a situation to occur. In some of those symptoms, like I just named, is like when you notice that your sleeping you're oversleeping, or maybe not sleeping enough, or not sleeping through the night. When you notice that your mood is just not the same. It's more, you're irritable, or maybe more sad, or more angry at things that maybe didn't used to anger you in the past, right? It's more so of like the physiological, like, are you noticing that you are anxious or feeling uneasy, or just not feeling yourself? Are you noticing that there's challenges with your relationships, right? That could be personal, that could be work relationships, that could be your significant other, or what have you. So looking at all of those areas, and if something just doesn't seem, what I'll tell my clients, if it doesn't seem balanced, that may be the time to say, hey, something isn't right. Let me check with the provider who can kind of help me and figure out some things. Another thing is when if your thoughts are more so streamlined to negativity, pessimism, right? Because that, again, we know that if your thinking is skewed, that's going to throw off your feelings, and that's going to throw off your behaviors. So with those three things and those symptoms, those are signs to say, hey, I probably need to check in with somebody.
Well, we would love to continue talking to you, and I'm sure we will. We would love to have you back on the show because I think this is something that we need to continue talking about. Not just because of COVID, but because it's something that we need to, accept and value on a regular basis in our lives. So we thank you so much for your time and your contribution. You are so Delaware, and we hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful holiday. And thank you again. We'll be definitely sending people to the website. Definitely.
Yes. And that website is www.blackbrowndelawaretherapist.com.
It'll be up on the screen for sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Thank you so much for having me.
Hello, DETV family. This is Dr. Rose Kokoza, primary care physician at Christiana Care. I'm reaching out to you because we know that the COVID-19 pandemic is still very much with us, with cases on the rise. Please continue to do what we know works. Wash your hands frequently, social distance, and wear a mask. Let's do what we need to do to move past this pandemic.
Thank you, Crysta Harris.
That was really nice.
Dr. Smith was amazing.
Yes. Take care of yourselves, people. Most important message of all is take care of yourselves.
How much have we talked about, like, Black Girl Magic? I don't think we've really talked about that. Is that like a cliche at this point? Right.
Never.
Right. Like, just think of who was on the show today.
Crazy.
Heavy hitters doing some really awesome stuff.
Yes.
Yes.
It's representation matters, and this is a great. These women are great representations. So, let's just recap. Not recap, but I guess going into next year, what do you hope for?
I hope to grow as a musician. I hope to get some new stuff recorded and put out. I look forward to kind of furthering my sound and kind of creating the new sound that I have in mind. And I mean, if we're going to think materialistically, I haven't talked about this on the air, but like there's a new Indian motorcycle dealership. Yo, I'm just going to put it out there. I want the maroon, the two-tone maroon and burgundy Indian Springfield. I want that motorcycle.
Bottom line.
Bottom line. Sometime between New Year's and the end of the year, that bike has my name on it. Ding dang it.
All right. Ding dang.
Ding dingity dang dang bong bong.
Can that be a cuss? Because I don't ever want to hear it again.
Ding dang.
Oh God. Okay, ask me.
Oh yes. So what? What are your hopes and dreams for 2021?
My hopes and dreams for 2021. Expand my sound.
Okay.
Put out some new music.
Can we open that Pandora's box a little bit? When you want to expand your sound, what are you thinking about? Like, how do
we don't have enough time to talk about that.
Give me a little bit. I'm really interested, actually, in this question. Like, what would the sound, like, where do you see things going sonically?
I want to be, I want to surprise people.
Okay.
That's what I want.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to really stepping into who Nadj Jea is, and not holding myself back at all. So yeah, just new beginnings, new testing new waters and all that. And I want to go on vacation.
Yeah, I hear that. Something I saw, it was a meme that kind of rang true for me because in as much as like, bottom line is I have discovered that that I am much more of an introvert than I thought I am because not gloating, but like I've kind of been fine just not being out there that much. I do really want to just sit down at a bar with friends at some point and have a really good time. But generally, I'm happy to just kind of be at home, do this, ride my motorcycle in peace and quiet, and I'm much more of an introvert than I actually thought I was. I can be out here in these streets, but I don't gotta be. You know what I mean?
When you friends with me, we going out next year. We'll see you later.
But Chef, who's coming up next?
Oh, Chef Dana. But we gotta go.
All right, we gotta go.
You talk so much.
Make sure you watch Chef Dana.
Watch Chef Dana.
Okay.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Chef Dana Cooking Show. I'm your host, Dana Herbert, and today we are just wrapping up the holidays and going into New Year's. So I figured what better way to go into New Year's than to show you guys a couple appetizers that you can do while you're waiting for the ball to drop. So today we're gonna do a garlic shrimp Parmesan dip that is outstanding. You cook it, it's baked in the oven, doesn't take very long. And we're gonna do a spin on your favorite meatballs. So we're gonna make some meatballs. We're gonna do like a barbecue sauce. And you know how you normally could put like that grape jelly in there? Well, we're gonna do it Chef Dana style. Number one, we're gonna make our own barbecue sauce. And number two, we're gonna put some blackberry jam in there. So I'm gonna give you a little more depth of flavor to your favorite meatball dish. So when we come back, we're gonna get cracking on that garlic shrimp dip on the Chef Dana Cooking Show. We'll be right back.
When you need fast and intense heat, GE's Powerboil element delivers impressive power. Plus, this single element has built-in flexibility to accommodate different pan sizes to ensure just the right heat coverage.
Don't you want to love the rooms you spend the most time in? Whether it be the kitchen, bathroom, or your home office, Bath Kitchen and Tile is here to help with your remodeling needs. We offer a complete, unique array of ever-changing complete room displays. We also feature the best quality products made by top-of-the-line manufacturers you know and love. We are the only remodeling and design company you will ever need. Give us a call at 1-800-673-3179 or stop by one of our showrooms today.
Control your cooktop the way you want with an easy swipe of your finger, thanks to GE's Glide Touch controls. This state-of-the-art technology gives you precise temperature control, so you get the exact heat your cooking requires.
Now you can enjoy the unexpected convenience of Keurig at your refrigerator. The Keurig K-Cup brewing system lets you brew your favorite single-serve beverages from the refrigerator dispenser. Just grab the brewer and open the top. Insert your favorite Keurig K-Cup pod and slide the brewer into the dispenser. Heat the water, then once the water has finished heating, select your size and push the Brew Dispense button for 3 seconds. It's quick and easy, so you can get back to enjoying your day.
I'm celebrity chef Dana Herbert, winner of TLC's Next Great Baker, the Rachel Ray Bake Off, and a host of other competitions. I'm gonna show you my tips, my tricks, my secrets of how you can be a pro chef right in your own kitchen. We're gonna go from the sweet all the way to the savory, from a simple cupcake to an amazing filet mignon. So take a ride with me as we go to my bakery and into my kitchen, and I'm gonna show you how I put the love in the pan on the Chef Dana experience.
Take dry dishes to a whole new level with Twin Turbo Dry Boost. It works by using a 1200 watt heating element to heat water during the final rinse cycle. Then 2 fans and an additional 400 watt heater work together to create a swirl of hot air that heats up dishware and removes water droplets. The result? Glasses, plasticware, and silverware that can skip the towel dry and go straight from the dishwasher to the dinner table. Check in without checking out, thanks to an in-oven camera that allows you to check the progress of your food remotely. Connect your oven to the Smart HQ app, then monitor your meal in real time, so you can spend less time in the kitchen and more time on what matters.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Chef Dana Herbert. Welcome to the Chef Dana Cooking Show. We're going to jump into this garlic shrimp dip. You are going to love this one. I'm going to grab my oil, and we're going to start cooking some shrimp. can't have the shrimp dip without the shrimp. All right, so let's get some oil in the pan. We'll get that warming up. I got my shrimp right here, all ready to go. Now, some of the other ingredients that we're going to use for this today is going to be our Parmesan, our mozzarella, our cream cheese, the mayo. I got a little lemon. I have a little parsley. So it's going to be a really nice, fresh dip. Okay. So let's get our shrimp going in the pan. Okay. And I'm just going to lay them out. So try to lay them out so they're not all clumped over each other. That way they can get some heat. Shrimp don't take too long to cook as long as you don't pile them high on top of each other. Okay. All right, starting to hear some sizzling. Sizzling means a good thing's going on in the pan. So I'm just laying them in here. Okay. Get in there. And again, I'm trying not to pile them on top of each other. Move them around a little bit if you need to, because we're going to end up chopping these anyway, but we want to make sure that they're getting some heat. They're getting some love. That love in the pan. Okay. So there's our shrimp. There we go. I knew they'd fit. So we got them all layered in the pan. And we're going to let them cook for just a little bit, and then we're going to mix this up. Okay. And then once the shrimp are done, they're going to go into the rest of the dip. Okay. So for our dip, we have that Parmesan, the mozzarella, the cream cheese. Let's bring them up here. We've got the mayo, we've got a little parsley, and I've got some lemon here. All right, now I've been holding out on this garlic. I've been waiting for the shrimp to start going just a little bit. And I'm gonna sprinkle in my garlic because we gotta flavor the shrimp, right? And of course, we're gonna have to do a little salt and pepper on that bad boy. Let's get some salt on there. And some pepper. As we say, gotta have the pepper. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm just watching my shrimp here. Okay, so let's talk about this dip. Let's get our cream cheese in the bowl with our mayo. This will give us that creaminess that we all like and all enjoy. And I'm just going to mash them up together. Cream cheese I just let come to room temperature so it's easier to mix in there. See, it's starting to incorporate with our mayonnaise. I'm just mashing it against the side, creating one mixture with it. Scrape, scrape, scrape your bowl so all that mayo can get in there. There we go. And then we're going to add some cheese. Let's add our Parmesan. Let's add the mozzarella. Get in there. There we go. And let's mix those together. After this, we're going to need to add some lemon zest. Let's check out our shrimp over here. So we're going to need to turn some of these shrimp. They are looking good. Got some nice color on them, nice sear. Flip them over. Like I told you, shrimp don't take too long to cook. See that beautiful sear we got going on? That means we're getting tons of flavor in there. Yeah, baby. Okay. And really, our shrimp are just about done, which is beautiful. Okay. Yep, I'm looking. I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat off because the residual heat on the pan is going to hit the other side, and we're going to be perfect. So I'm going to turn the heat off because they're looking good on this side already. And you can kind of tell, like with seafood, when seafood gets opaque, that means it's pretty much done. So I'm just flipping them over so the other side can get a nice little sear in the pan with a little bit of that garlic, but I've turned the heat off, and I know the residual pan and the heat's gonna do just what we need it to do. So that is our shrimp. Look at that, done in what, 3 minutes, 4 minutes on that GE profile flat top? Okay. So this is my dip right here. Couple things we need to add to here. We're going to need to add some parsley, and we're going to need to add some lemon juice, and we're going to need to add a little pinch of salt. Okay, so here's my lemon. I'm going to take the zest of the lemon though, and I'm going to put the zest of the lemon in there. Now remember, when you're zesting lemons, try not to go too deep, because when you go down and you hit the bright white part, you're hitting what's called the pith. The pith is actually sour. It's not the skin itself. The skin itself actually has the flavor, but the pith is what makes you go ooh and kind of tightens your jaw up a little bit. So we don't want the pith. We just want that lemon zest. Okay, that's looking good. It's smelling good. There we go. So I'm going to take that lemon zest, and I'm going to put that in the bowl.
When you need fast and intense heat, GE's Power Boil element delivers impressive power. Plus, this single element has built-in flexibility to accommodate different pan sizes to ensure just the right heat coverage.
Don't you want to love the rooms you spend the most time in? Whether it be the kitchen, bathroom, or your home office, Bath Kitchen and Tile is here to help with your remodeling needs. We offer a complete, unique array of ever-changing complete room displays. We also feature the best quality products made by top-of-the-line manufacturers you know and love. We are the only remodeling and design company you will ever need. Give us a call at 1-800-673-3179 or stop by one of our showrooms today.
Control your cooktop the way you want with an easy swipe of your finger, thanks to GE's Glide Touch controls. This state-of-the-art technology gives you precise temperature control, so you get the exact heat your cooking requires.
Now you can enjoy the unexpected convenience of Keurig at your refrigerator. The Keurig K-Cup brewing system lets you brew your favorite single-serve beverages from the refrigerator dispenser. Just grab the brewer and open the top. Insert your favorite Keurig K-Cup pod and slide the brewer into the dispenser. Heat the water, then once the water has finished heating, select your size and push the Brew Dispense button for 3 seconds. It's quick and easy, so you can get back to enjoying your day.
I'm celebrity chef Dana Herbert, winner of TLC's Next Great Baker, the Rachel Ray Bake Off, and a host of other competitions. I'm going to show you my tips, my tricks, my secrets of how you can be a pro chef right in your own kitchen. We're going to go from the sweet all the way to the savory, from a simple cupcake to an amazing filet mignon. So take a ride with me as we go to my bakery and into my kitchen, and I'm gonna show you how I put the love in the pan on the Chef Dana experience.
Take dry dishes to a whole new level with Twin Turbo Dry Boost. It works by using a 1200 watt heating element to heat water during the final rinse cycle. Then 2 fans and an additional 400 watt heater work together to create a swirl of hot air that heats up dishware and removes water droplets. The result? Glasses, plasticware, and silverware that can skip the towel dry and go straight from the dishwasher to the dinner table. Check in without checking out. Thanks to an in-oven camera that allows you to check the progress of your food remotely. Connect your oven to the Smart HQ app, then monitor your meal in real time, so you can spend less time in the kitchen and more time on what matters.
So now that we've zested the lemon, let's cut the lemon, and we're gonna need the juice of this. Okay. I'm gonna pluck out these seeds though, because we don't want any seeds in our dip, right? So if you see a couple seeds, pluck them out. I love lemon, just not the seeds. Okay. That's 1/2. Let's take a look at this other half. Yep, see the seeds right there? Let's get rid of these guys. Unlike chicken and dumplings, you are not the winner if you get the seed, okay? All right, I think we're good. So now we're gonna squeeze some juice in there. And if you see a lemon seed, just flick it out. Okay, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let's do this one. So we got plenty of lemon juice in here. This is what's gonna make it fresh. As you notice, I haven't put a lot of salt in here. Lemon would be the alternative to adding a lot of salt because the lemon's going to add that freshness. A couple more seeds. Okay. All right, so let's take a look here. I see a seed. I'm going to get rid of that seed. And I see another 2 seeds. Got them. Okay. All right. So let's mix this up with the juices in there and everything. And that lemon zest. We got our shrimp over there. I'm going to turn the heat off. Okay. And now I'm going to take the shrimp out the pan. We're going to get it to the cutting board, and we're going to chop them up and throw them in this dip. Because we're going to dip. We're going to dip. Okay. Get rid of this little bit of lemon seeds because we don't want that. All right, let's get this shrimp out the pan. So here's our shrimp with my tongs. And we're going to chop these up. Oh man, these are looking good. I don't even want to put them in the dip because I'm ready to eat them right now. Okay. It's like you can smell the garlic that's been nicely toasted on there. Okay, here's our shrimp. Let's chop these up. And you can rough chop them, it doesn't have to be perfect. As long as people are getting some shrimp in the dip, it's all good. Now this is one of those versatile type of dips where if you wanted to add a little chopped tomato to this, it would work. You could do it. If you wanted to get a little tomato feel to your cream cheese dip, it would be nice. If you want to send it in more of a Latin direction, you could always substitute your lemon juice for lime juice. Add those tomatoes, pinch of cilantro. Will work good. So this dip is really, really nice. If you want to go Asian, add a little bit of teriyaki to it. Okay, almost there. And again, I'm just rough chopping the shrimp, not being real picky. As long as it can go onto like a little chip, you're all good. And everybody wants to feel like they had some shrimp in their dip. Okay, so here we go. Let's get that shrimp in the dip. And you know how Chef Dana does. I'm not faking on the shrimp in the dip. You can see this, right? We're not doing shrimp flavor. We're doing shrimp in the dip. Okay. And let's give it a good mix. So that shrimp gets all incorporated. Oh, I saw a piece jump out the bowl. Is that for me? Is that for me? Okay. There we go. So we've got our shrimp mixture created. Now we just need to put it in our dish, and then once we get it in the dish, we're going to go to the oven. Let's get our countertop all nice again. Okay, so here we go. We're going to the dish. Scraping it all out. Ooh, baby. Yes. And then we just spread it around, just like this. Spread it around, get it all nice and level. Now, I have a little bit of leftover, what's the word for it? Cheese in my fridge. I got some Parmesan. I'm not going to let this Parmesan go to waste. I'm going to take some Parmesan and I'm going to sprinkle some over the top, just to give it a nice little crust. If you got a little extra, sprinkle a little bit over the top. It's going to be great for your chip. So this is like taking chip and dip and taking it to a whole new place. Now I know a lot of times with chip and dip, and you're going to like friends' houses and functions, you're like, man, whoever just brought the chips and dips, they had the easy way out, right? Not so in this case. This is amazing. So we're going to go to the oven, and we're going to cook our garlic shrimp dip. And when we come back, I'm going to show you guys how to do that blackberry barbecue sauce and those meatballs on the Chef Dana Cooking Show. See you in a sec.
When you need fast and intense heat, GE's Power Boil element delivers impressive power. Plus, this single element has built-in flexibility to accommodate different pan sizes to ensure just the right heat coverage.
Don't you want to love the rooms you spend the most time in? Whether it be the kitchen, bathroom, or your home office, Bath Kitchen and Tile is here to help with your remodeling needs. We offer a complete, unique array of ever-changing complete room displays. We also feature the best quality products made by top-of-the-line manufacturers you know and love. We are the only remodeling and design company you will ever need. Give us a call at 1-800-673-3179 or stop by one of our showrooms today.
Control your cooktop the way you want with an easy swipe of your finger, thanks to GE's Glide Touch controls. This state-of-the-art technology gives you precise temperature control, so you get the exact heat your cooking requires.
Now you can enjoy the unexpected convenience of Keurig at your refrigerator. The Keurig K-Cup brewing system lets you brew your favorite single-serve beverages from the refrigerator dispenser. Just grab the brewer and open the top. Insert your favorite Keurig K-Cup pod and slide the brewer into the dispenser. Heat the water, then once the water has finished heating, select your size and push the Brew Dispense button for 3 seconds. It's quick and easy, so you can get back to enjoying your day.
I'm celebrity chef Dana Herbert, winner of TLC's Next Great Baker, the Rachel Ray Bake Off, and a host of other competitions. I'm going to show you my tips, my tricks, my secrets of how you can be a pro chef right in your own kitchen. We're going to go from the sweet all the way to the savory, from a simple cupcake to an amazing filet mignon. So take a ride with me as we go to my bakery and into my kitchen, and I'm going to show you how I put the love in the pan on the Chef Dana experience.
Take dry dishes to a whole new level with Twin Turbo Dry Boost. It works by using a 1200 watt heating element to heat water during the final rinse cycle. Then 2 fans and an additional 400 watt heater work together to create a swirl of hot air that heats up dishware and removes water droplets. The result? Glasses, plasticware, and silverware that can skip the towel dry and go straight from the dishwasher to the dinner table. Check in without checking out, thanks to an in-oven camera that allows you to check the progress of your food remotely. Connect your oven to the Smart HQ app, then monitor your meal in real time, so you can spend less time in the kitchen and more time on what matters.
Welcome back, everybody. We've got our garlic shrimp dip in the oven, and I am excited. But we're going to start on these meatballs. This is Chef Dana's blackberry barbecue meatballs, right? So we're going to put a little oil in the pan. And right over here, I just have some meatballs that I made, real simple, ground beef, some Italian seasoning, salt and pepper. I threw an egg in there to help bind it together, but I used an 80-20 mix on my ground beef. That means 80% beef, 20% fat. It just helps in keeping them nice and juicy. Okay, I'm gonna move my oil around here, and we're gonna throw our meatballs in the pan, and we're gonna get them searing. Okay. Meanwhile, let's get that blackberry barbecue sauce started as well. So I got another saute pan right here. And I'll show you guys what we're going to do with that in just a second. Let's get these meatballs going. Let's get these meatballs going, baby. All right. So here's our meatballs. They're sauteing in the pan. While they're going, let's get ready to start this blackberry barbecue sauce. So for any barbecue sauce, you know what I mean, you're going to need some ketchup, some brown sugar, Worcestershire sauce, some water, a little vinegar. So I'm going to go ahead and pour my water in there. All right. And I'm going to switch to my power boil station. If any of you guys ever have one of these flat tops, there's always a power boil when you want to make it move quick. Because I know my meatballs, they're starting to go. So I got my water in here. I have my vinegar going in. All right. So I have the apple cider vinegar and the water in the pot. Next thing that we're going to add is we're going to add some brown sugar. Boom. For sweetness. We're going to add some garlic powder. We're going to add a little bit of paprika. Y'all seen my girl Paprika? She out there. Tell Paprika I said hi. All right. We're going to add some Worcestershire sauce. We're going to add some ketchup. Gotta have some ketchup. So ketchup going in. It's really easy to make your own barbecue sauce, guys. It's not that hard. You just mix it all together. Just like that. And that's the basis for your barbecue sauce. Now you could add other stuff, liquid smoke, blah, 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 but that's barbecue sauce basics. Barbecue sauce is ketchup, it's got water, it's got the vinegar, which gives it that tang. You're gonna need something for the sweetness, so a lot of times it's brown sugar. Why is it brown sugar? Because it also has a little molasses in there, right? If you watch one of our episodes previous to now, you would see how molasses comes about from the sugar refining process. All right, let's add the last two. These are the secret ingredients, y'all. So I'm letting you into my kitchen right now. Can I trust you? Can I trust you? All right, check it out. We're gonna add blackberry sauce, right? Remember, you always think of those meatballs, and you heard of the recipe. They throw the grape jelly in there. Not Chef Dana. We are doing blackberry jam. And I like to kick it up a notch. We're gonna give it a little bit of heat. So we're gonna do some sriracha. All right. Now my wife, she doesn't like a whole lot of heat. So when she's watching this episode, she's gonna be like, oh Lord. But honey, it's good. I promise you, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. That's what one of my old chefs used to say. No matter what he made, hey, trust me, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Shout out to him, my man Stefan. Okay, so I got my barbecue sauce right here, and I wanna taste it. So chef's going in that pot with a spoon. Don't ever trust a chef that doesn't taste his own stuff, I'm just saying. Okay. Oh, man, that is good. All right. That is, that is good. I don't even know if I want to share with you guys right now. That's good. All right, so let's check out our meatballs. They've been searing on one side. Let's roll them on the other side. So the other side can get a little love. And as you can see, our sauce here is getting ready to come to a simmer, which is what you want in barbecue sauce. You want it to come to a simmer. You want it to come to that boil so that all the flavors can mix and meld together. If it doesn't come to that simmer, then how do you know that the blackberry jam is fully dissolved, right? Because it's gelatinous when you put it in there. And how do you know it is mixed with the sriracha and the vinegars and the other spices? Okay, so I'm turning on my meatballs. And we're gonna let them brown on this side for just a second. I'm gonna season them with a little bit of salt and pepper. Okay, let's get rid of these dishes. We clean as we go around here, okay? We clean as we go. Let's hit this with a little salt and pepper. I'm gonna give my barbecue sauce a pinch of salt and pepper. A little salt and pepper for you guys too. Daddy didn't forget about you. Okay. Right. So we're letting these sear. My sauce has come to a nice boil. You see that? Okay. These are looking good. I'm getting a sear on the other side, which is what we want. I'm just spot checking, double checking, making sure we're looking scrum-diddly-umptious. All right. And then I'm going to pour some of my blackberry sauce, as you can see, which is bubbling nicely behind me, onto my meatballs. So it's almost like we're going to candy coat this thing, all right? Let me get my ladle. And I'm going to put a little sauce here on. Put a little sauce right here on these meatballs, drizzle it over. Look at that. As soon as that sauce got on there, it said, man, I was so happy to see you. All right, here we go. Look at that. It's like candy coating your meatballs right now. So see how the pan's getting nice and bubbly. And the cool part is with the barbecue sauce having a little vinegar in there, and that liquid is actually helping to deglaze your meatball pan, pull them flavors out that pan. See, I'm always thinking next level. How do we get more flavor out this thing? Okay. So now that we've coated these meatballs in that blackberry sauce, and we're letting them simmer in there a second, next step is we're going to transfer them to the oven. So I'm going to take my meatballs, transfer them to the pan. Wow, look at that pan of bubbly goodness right there. Look at that pan of bubbly goodness. All right, each pan gets a bonus meatball. Lucky number 7. And then we're going to pour some of this sauce right in the pan with them. Right? And we're going to scrape out the rest of that because this is good eating right here. See how that comes right? Look at that. Look at it just come right out the pan. There isn't even a mess left in the pan if you're making my meatballs right. You see that? Just all wants to come right out there. Pour the rest right in here. And then we're going to go to the oven for another 15 minutes. Okay. So this is going to go into the oven, 15 minutes. And when we come back, we're going to check on those garlic and shrimp dip. All right, on the Chef Dana Cooking Show. We'll be right back, y'all.
When you need fast and intense heat, GE's Power Boil element delivers impressive power. Plus, this single element has built-in flexibility to accommodate different pan sizes to ensure just the right heat coverage.
Don't you want to love the rooms you spend the most time in? Whether it be the kitchen, bathroom, or your home office, Bath Kitchen and Tile is here to help with your remodeling needs. We offer a complete, unique array of ever-changing complete room displays. We also feature the best quality products made by top-of-the-line manufacturers you know and love. We are the only remodeling and design company you will ever need. Give us a call at 1-800-673-3179 or stop by one of our showrooms today.
Control your cooktop the way you want with an easy swipe of your finger, thanks to GE's Glide Touch controls. This state-of-the-art technology gives you precise temperature control, so you get the exact heat your cooking requires.
Now you can enjoy the unexpected convenience of Keurig at your refrigerator. The Keurig K-Cup brewing system lets you brew your favorite single-serve beverages from the refrigerator dispenser. Just grab the brewer and open the top. Insert your favorite Keurig K-Cup pod and slide the brewer into the dispenser. Heat the water, then once the water has finished heating, select your size and push the Brew Dispense button for 3 seconds. It's quick and easy, so you can get back to enjoying your day.
I'm celebrity chef Dana Herbert, winner of TLC's Next Great Baker, the Rachel Ray Bake Off, and a host of other competitions. I'm going to show you my tips, my tricks, my secrets of how you can be a pro chef right in your own kitchen. We're going to go from the sweet all the way to the savory, from a simple cupcake to an amazing filet mignon. So take a ride with me as we go to my bakery and into my kitchen, and I'm going to show you how I put the love in the pan on the Chef Dana experience.
Take dry dishes to a whole new level with Twin Turbo Dry Boost. It works by using a 1200 watt heating element to heat water during the final rinse cycle. Then 2 fans and an additional 400 watt heater work together to create a swirl of hot air that heats up dishware and removes water droplets. The result? Glasses, plasticware, and silverware that can skip the towel dry and go straight from the dishwasher to the dinner table. Check in without checking out. Thanks to an in-oven camera that allows you to check the progress of your food remotely. Connect your oven to the Smart HQ app, then monitor your meal in real time so you can spend less time in the kitchen and more time on what matters.
Welcome back, everybody. I am so excited. I'm just giggling like a little kid because what's in that oven is so tasty and so delicious. I know you're going to love it. So let's finish up, and then we'll bring them out, are these tortillas. So we're going to need something, right, to dip the chips in. So I'm going to cut up some small tortillas I have. These guys, because there's shrimp there, I'm going to cut them in 4, just so they're a little heartier, just a little bigger. If there wasn't shrimp on there and it was just, you know, cream and cheese and so forth, I'd cut it into more like 6s or 8s. But I want something that I can get in there and scoop and my shrimp hang on. So in my pot, I'm just going to fry up my tortilla pieces. Oh, look, they're puffing like a pillow. Okay. All right, we want to make sure they're fried on both sides. So if you need to, flip them over. Okay. There we go. Uh-oh, I broke one. It's all right. So check it out. Here's what we got coming out the oil. And then I throw them into a bowl that has some paper towel in there, just so we can soak up a little bit of that extra fat. And then I'm gonna go in here again. Let's get another set going. All right, other thing is I give it just a little salt when it comes out. I don't like to salt them later because it doesn't stick as well. Okay. And these don't take very long in the oil at all. I'm gonna flip them over because they get color really fast and get crisp really fast when you throw the tortillas in the fryer. See? Look at that color already. Count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See? And then we're going to take them to the bowl. We'll do one more set, and then we're going to check on that pan of bubbly goodness, as I call it, that's in the oven. Okay, so we got 5 more in here. Again, I just give them a little push. I don't want them to be super puffy, so I just give them just a little push real quick. Knock a little air out of them if you need to. You deflated my sail. Just a little bit. Okay. And then when they start to get some color, you flip them over. Okay. 3, 4, and number 5. While they're going, I'm going to hit these again with just that little pinch of salt. Just a sprinkle. And pull these out. Look at that. These are yum, yum, yum. It's nothing like a fresh fried tortilla. You know, it's not like you're going to open up the bag. This is fresh fried. Okay. Now, if you wanted to even take it to an even higher level, you could, if you wanted to, make a little spice mix. If you want to send it in another direction, then you could do a little bit of cumin, a little bit of paprika, a little bit of garlic powder, salt. Create your own little rub for them. All right, so this is my parsley. The parsley is going to go on top of the garlic and spinach dip. So I'm just giving this a quick rough chop. And we're going to sprinkle some parsley all over the top of this when it comes out the oven. The reason we're doing the fresh herb at the end and not during the cooking process is because the fresh herbs, they bloom really fast when they hit high heat and moisture. So if you want to actually have some lasting effect and flavor from the parsley, my advice would be to put it on right at the end. It hits that heat and just does its thing. Okay. All right, so I got my parsley. I'm gonna return that to the dish. And let's get ready to check this oven out. Okay. Let me get a hot pad. Oh, oh yeah, oh yeah. What is my name? Okay. There we go. Look at that pan of bubbly goodness. And then I'm going to sprinkle this parsley all over here while it's still hot. Okay. Get that big piece out of there. Mess up my mojo. Okay. There we go. So that is the garlic shrimp dip. I mean, look at it. It's still bubbling. It's still bubbling. Saying, hey, Daddy, how you doing? Daddy's doing fine. Can't wait to get that in my belly. Okay. Let's get rid of this and let's get those meatballs next, right? So we had those meatballs that we were working on. Let's take a look at those. Yes. Here we go. Okay. Look at the pans of meatballs. Look at it, they're bubbling. You can see how, let me get a spoon, I'll show you. Watch this. Look at how the sauce on the bottom, look how clingy that is. When you pour it over the meatball, hello. And this is what the meatball's been cooking in. Come on, y'all. This is crazy. And you remember what we just said about the fresh herbs, right? So you just take a little bit of your fresh parsley, bada bing, bada boom. Okay. And then we do the same for the other one. Give it that little spoonful. Look how that just flows right over top. Stick into that meatball. This is love at first bite right here. Love at first bite. Look at that. Let's get a little parsley on this one. Okay. Now, if you want to be really cool at New Year's, you could, this is just a Chef Dana idea, you could literally cook everybody's meatballs in their own little individual serving vessel, and then you would just present their little meatball appetizers in their own little dishes. There you go. That is our New Year's appetizers. We got this garlic shrimp dip that I just can't wait to get into with these tortillas, right? And then we've got, that just means it's meant for me. And we've got our pans here of our barbecue blackberry meatballs. I'm Chef Dana. Enjoy the holidays. Happy New Year, everybody. And I'll see you next time.